Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from tinaheals.com and this video is for Gregory. Gregory, welcome to your Sun, Moon, Ascendant video. Your Sun is in Taurus, your Moon is in Gemini, and you have a Scorpio Rising. So we begin with the Rising. The Rising is the first house. It is the sign that is rising on the eastern side of the horizon at the moment of your birth, and it's the most important part of you. It is known as the helm of the natal chart, okay? And when we think about the first house, we think about how we look, how we appear to people, the way we dress, our endurance, our psychological makeup, how people see us basically. When you walk into a room, people see that Scorpio Ascendant even before they see that Taurus Sun or the Gemini Moon. Okay, so that is the first house. It's really important. In Vedic astrology, it is the Kona as well as Kendra house, which is the most important planet. In fact, if you need to see the importance of planets in your natal chart, you need to go through the planets in the first house, fourth house, 7th and 10th. They are like the most important planets. Okay, so now you have a Scorpio rising. Okay, now having a Scorpio rising means Mars becomes your ascendant ruler. Now I don't use modern rulerships, like I don't give Pluto the rulership of Scorpio. I give Mars. It's in traditional astrology or Vedic astrology, Mars rules Scorpio, but I still consider Pluto and the placement of Pluto, because Pluto is actually the higher octave of Mars. So there is this atomic Martian power that Pluto possesses. Okay, so now you are ruled by Mars. So the placement of Mars in your natal chart becomes really important. You have to see which house Mars is placed in, which sign Mars is placed in, who sits in conjunction with Mars, who's opposite Mars, who's square Mars, who's sextile Mars, like that. You have to see all the aspects that Mars makes to better understand your first house, because the first house is completely getting energy from Mars. Okay, now Mars, let's understand a bit about Mars. Mars is a fiery planet, so all kinds of pitta imbalances can occur, which is heat related. In Ayurveda, pitta is heat related complications. Okay, so dyspepsia, and Scorpio rules the organs of procreation as well as organs of elimination. So IBS is a common complaint with Scorpio natives. IBS or any kind of even accidents to the private parts could happen if you're not careful. So now you have to look to Mars, as I said, but Mars is what? Mars is our action principle. Without Mars, we cannot take any action in the world. Okay, Mars is a force, but sadly, narrow interpretive meanings of Mars is like war, bloodshed. Of course, Mars is responsible for all of that, but Mars is the force that can convert one from a son or daughter of God to a son or daughter of from a son or daughter of humans to a son or daughter of God. Okay, that was like, and Mercury is not even retrograde, but hey, we have to deal with that. So now that you're talking about Mars giving you the force to initiate you into a path that is fraught with difficulties. Okay, and it is when you go through these difficulties, experience, solve these difficulties, then you can reverse the ego side of Mars and tune into its higher vibrations, which is about initiation. And Scorpio being the sign that is initiated with the path to initiation. Capricorn is the real initiation, but Scorpio is the dark night of the soul that makes one walk towards initiation. Okay, now of course Pluto being the higher octave of Mars, as always, is Plutonic energy, and how Pluto is placed in your chart will also show here. If you have Pluto in Scorpio, then Pluto sits in the first house, becomes really important, diabolical, can make you very stealthy. The word I associate with Scorpio is stealth. Now when you think about Scorpio, it's a fixed water sign. Okay, and it is the fall of the moon. Okay, because moon is exalted in its opposite sign of Taurus. So Scorpio is the fall of the moon. That means emotions. And when you think of water signs, you can't imagine that they don't have emotions. Yes, there are emotions, but you know, at this stage, emotions are just too much to handle for Scorpio natives. Okay, too much to handle, too messy. And a Scorpio likes to get messy because, you know, it's the archetype of the detective. It likes to drill in, dredge into whatever it's dealing with, and it really you know, goes deep into the psyche as well, because Scorpio deals with the unconscious. You know, Pluto being the ruler of Hades. Hades is not hell literally, but the unconscious, and it's a job of Scorpio to dive deep down into this realm where no one can tread, because, you know, it's 8th house. The natural 8th house deals with like death, resurrection, rebirth. It also deals with taxes, debt, inheritances, and all of this, right? So this is like the basic thing, where Scorpio also deals with the occult, magic, sorcery, as well as cursing. So there's this duality which is very evident in the Scorpio. Scorpio has three archetypes. At the first level, in its lowest level, it is the scorpion that stings. Then it becomes an eagle. You know, eagle flying over the vantage point, seeing everything, understanding everything, siphoning information. And at the very end is the archetype of the phoenix. When Mars helps Scorpio burn away all the excess baggage, excess impurities, and awaken to a state of pure light, phoenix, you know, complete resurrection, complete rebirth. Scorpio rising people always deal with a lot of, you know, death and endings in their lives, because this is Scorpio, the energy of death. So you are either fascinated with death, or, you know, in some way investigating cases that you watch on YouTube, cold cases, and you're like, who's the Zodiac killer? I want to know. Or who's Jack the Ripper? I want to know, and you want to look into it. And you could possibly be on YouTube looking at things like, oh my god, you know, where am I, what's this, what is this mystery, what is this oddities, again, like macabre stuff. Okay, morbid stuff could be exciting, of course, depending on the placement of Mars and Pluto, because they are feeding your first house. Now you have a Taurus sun, right? So when we come, we see that Scorpio is your first house, Sag is your second house, so Jupiter rules your money and provisions, and you know, your luck factor, what you possess. Sagittarius, Capricorn becomes your third house, Aquarius is your fourth house. So third and fourth house are ruled by Saturn. I use whole sign houses, okay? And then Pisces is your fifth house, Aries is your sixth house. So any health related complications will be again ruled by Mars. Sixth house, Mars rules your first house and sixth house. Okay, and your relationship and all that, Jupiterian again, right? Now we come to Taurus, which is your seventh house, which is your polarity with Scorpio. Scorpio's polarity being Taurus. So you have a seventh house sun. So again, sun, let's understand the archetype of the sun. Sun is the father. Sun is how you shine, how you lead. Sun rules the sign of Leo. You know, sun is how you bring warmth, how you empower people. You know, your soul's evolution. So having a seventh house sun, your soul's evolution is deeply connected to your partners, especially your spouse. Seventh house is the house of marriage, matrimony, okay, marriage, as well as partnerships of all kinds, you know, interpersonal relationships. So having the sun there, your life's evolution is somehow connected to your partner. So always find someone who can spiritually go on the journey with you, for you have that sun. Sun is also a sign of spirituality, of this raw primeval intelligence that we have inside of us. Okay, and of course, you have your sun in Taurus. Now, sun and Venus are not traditionally friends. But as having sun in Taurus, it means you understand money, and you will always be attracted to people who are beautiful, and who exude this kind of Venusian characteristics, and like well groomed, well dressed, smelling really nice, and you're not attracted to that just about anybody. You won't be, okay? And then of course you have that 8th house moon. Now Taurus, having that sun in Taurus makes you very stubborn. Taurus is a sign of the bull, so you have endurance, you have you can work hard, but you can't adapt quickly. You cannot adapt quickly, and Scorpio is a fixed sign, so adaptability, and it's a water sign. I told you that, okay? It's a water sign, it's a fixed sign. The domicile of Mars, the fall of the moon, debilitation of Venus again. Because when you think of Venus in Scorpio, it's always like the femme fatale archetype. For a man, Venus is who he loves. So again, coming back to 8th house Gemini moon. 8th house is again Scorpio energy. You have this kind of death, rebirth thing that's happening emotionally. You can get bored of people pretty quickly with the Gemini moon. You fall in love and then you're out of love. Gemini, the twins. So there are always these two sides, two contradictory ideas. And Gemini people, mutable air sign. So the air scatters, right? Disperses, scatters. And mutable air scatters the quickest. So it's like all over, scattering all over. Right? And now looking at, of course, the rulership for your sun, you'll have to look at Venus, where Venus sits, because you're a Taurus sun. And for the moon, you have to look at Mercury. Where is Mercury placed? Right? Now, depending upon that 8th house moon is going to bring about a love for, again, the morbid, the macabre, emotionally quite connected to things that are unattainable in some way as well. Fascination with other worlds, fascination with the occult. If you've just begun your journey, you're going to go deeper and deeper into it, because that's how Scorpio operates. And 8th house moons always pushing us towards going deeper into these worlds, into the unconscious. Told you 8th house has to do with unconscious. So your moon over there is looking for things that most people don't look for. Scorpio goes looking for things that most people don't look for. 8th house moons go looking for experiences that most people would not look for. So it's a deeply intuitive, you could channel with an 8th house moon. Of course, Gemini cannot concentrate very easily, so concentration can be a problem. Sticking with something, you begin something and then you lose interest, and then that's it, it's gone, and you like, I don't know, I'm going to get back to it. So you could have many things that you start and then you don't see the conclusion of it. 8th house moon can also give you this subtlety in understanding other kinds of energies that most people can't. So you can bring that into your artwork. The Taurus sun definitely makes you very creative. Scorpio also is always looking to create, but a deeper kind of art. Like, Taurus is more concerned with beauty, but Scorpio wants to make it ugly. So it can get straight to the crux, it can get straight to the truth, because that's what a Scorpio native is looking at. It is looking at, he or she is looking at the truth. And for Gemini, it's more of a movement, mutable air, moving from one experience to the other. So emotionally, you're always moving from one experience to the other. And 8th house moon could mean that your mom wasn't around as you would want her to be, or your mom was very quick-witted, very funny, because Mercury is a trickster. So there's always this sardonic, funny side to the Gemini moon, and your mother or your wife may embody that archetype. And she's an 8th house of sarcasm, parodies and all of that. You could also be very attracted to sarcasm, because what Scorpio and 8th house is all about, being sarcastic, about expressing yourself. So there. Rest, You have the archetype of the detective with your Scorpio rising. You have the archetype of the builder with your Taurus sun. And with Gemini, you have the archetype of the communicator. Because Gemini is all about communication, ruled by Mercury, you know. It's all about exaltation of Mercury and ruled by Mercury. So, sorry, it's not exaltation of Mercury, Virgo is, but it is a sign of Mercury. So, there you have that extreme mental processes, but can make you very, moon also in Mercury's domain, can make you very unsteady in the mind, you know, unsteady, thoughts vacillating back and forth. You need grounding and regular spiritual practices, so you may resurrect from the dark night of the soul, the Nigredo process that I was just talking to you about in my article yesterday, article of Rahu and Ketu. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to know more, get a detailed reading. And it was really nice of you to help me and offer to help me with everything. And thank you so much, and hope to speak to you soon.